Welcome back to Workers and Resources. I can't get enough of this game. Even with the failure last time, where we had an exorbitant amount of death. Well, it happens. Hopefully, we have resolved the issue. We have to keep monitoring that because I made a mistake with planning. Also, I should probably check that all of these checkboxes are set to where they give me a warning if resources are missing. Just so I get information about that. Let's turn that on for the shopping centers and the pub. Otherwise, no information is necessary. And yeah, if we run out of food again, we should probably get information about that. Where are we picking up food from? You are picking it up from here. Good. That's where you should pick up food from. So we can have more space for fabric. Man, what a bad mistake that was. Oh well. We should get some food delivered here soon. Hopefully. But until then, we are hopefully going to be fine. Let's also get a warning if we run out of fabric, clothing, and yeah, that should be it. This clothing should be used up. Our productivity dropped down significantly as people started starving and actually starved. So we will have to increase loyalty, run our TV station at capacity to get people back up to as loyal as possible. Our moderators are super loyal, like they have 95% loyalty in some cases. Like Traktornikovka, Fedora, Viktorovna, 95% loyalty, life expectancy of 81%, 111 productivity. Maybe you should be working in the oil refinery. That might be more useful in our case. But with the sudden reduction in workforce again, we of course have an issue with workers not being available for making us money. So we might actually have to decrease the amount of people working in the TV station. Even though we would like some loyalty again, maybe we can do that with half capacity of our workforce. We will also not see a lot of workers going to the train platform, for obvious reasons. And we don't even have enough workers inside the commercial district city hall to show us how many people we have in this area. 1,600 workers I saw, so we dropped about 800 workers. Very, very bad. Unfortunate. Oh well. The circle of life. In the meantime, our warehouse is waiting for construction. Basically, as soon as we get some people back on the train and running towards here, we get the building constructed, and that should be it. Same for the tram stations. We will have to upgrade the road to a tram road. That is also on the agenda before we move people in. Yeah. I don't think they have enough walking distance on the footpath to reach the shopping center if something goes wrong. Close. Direct footpath would work, but yeah, along the road up here, that's too much, I think. Well, back down to 250,000 rubles. We now owe 4 million still. We are decreasing the amount of interest we are paying back. So any new loan after that is going to cost us a little bit less. But we still need more money. I don't know if we're ever going to have enough workers inside the clothing factory to actually make us a profit. But maybe. Doesn't need to be much. Can we get this to a point where also people from this residential building can walk into it? Like, how close is it? If we take a measurement of here, around here to here, all of this nonsense. Isn't that enough? 370 meters ground distance. Is the bridge really that much more? Or am I missing something? Must be very close. 343 meters from here, from the statue. So let's say we're like at 340 meters. Is this really 60 meters? That's not 60 meters. What's going on? Oh, it's almost 60 meters, according to this. That's very close. If we maybe straighten out this footpath and make it cut across in a straight line, it could work. Connect this over here and let them walk along this bridge. That would also reduce the travel distance a bit. We'll try that one. And add a footpath here, letting them walk across and see if that helps. Clothing factory is almost full. And we're now filling up the storage inside the warehouse. And as soon as we hit 55 would be 110. As soon as we hit 58-ish, the train will come and pick up a lot of clothing for export. $1,567 workers. We can now see the amount of statistics here again, because the productivity of our workers should be increasing again. Some of them are still at 30%. You are on free time. We need food and sport. Food is there, sport is right next to it. Do something. There you go. Walking, buying food. Isn't it great to have food? And doing sport. Easy. And that's your free time over. So, I was thinking about adding a helipad down here. Flying to pick up the water and then flying back is kind of a long task. but it might save a burning building. Or I'm just going to do the thing and dig out a lake behind next to the fire station here. I kind of need fire safety. I don't want the steel to burn down. That would be way too expensive. So we are going to do the thing and set up probably 2 helicopters. Maybe let's set up a triple helipad. This can be built by machinery, except for concrete and asphalt. And, well, I guess the resources need to be brought here. But it can be done by machinery completely. Police station is on fire, that should be fine. We'll assign everything here. There was another residential building that gave me the warning about low happiness. Yeah, fire trucks are doing their thing. I was worried a little bit there because we had a drop in population, so I thought maybe the fire trucks weren't able to do that, but seems like it was okay. Our residential buildings are very low happiness right now. They still need to recover. I lost a lot of people. At least they aren't complaining about lack of food anymore. We'll have to keep a close eye on that for a while, because I'm not sure if I made another mistake here. This should have received some food by now, but apparently it's thinking that this also counts for food in here, so as long as they can take food from here, it's okay. We also have food in this storage, which is now going to be picked up and also redistributed. So let's see, that is commercial district warehouse. Yes, you are loading and unloading into here. That is fine. We can decrease the amount of workers inside the shopping center again. As productivity increases, the amount of shoppers one seller can handle improves. But when they are starving, then they're not doing that well with handling tasks like that. Don't have any workers on the bus platform, so we can't tell anyone to do some construction tasks right now. Let's decrease the amount of professors. Yeah. This footpath should be quite quick to construct, and it's still not enough, because we are lacking that small one. The resources are here, but we don't have the workers yet to build it. But I think this is going to be sufficient. I will measure it out, because I like doing that. It's 347, 12 meters less than the other measurement. So hopefully this is going to be sufficient. And then we have both residential buildings being able to supply workers into our clothing factory. Money is still dropping. We are close to repaying one of the loans. So loan loan repayment rates might slow down at some point. We did repay the 2 million loan. How much are we actually paying back now? $40,000 per month. Our oil refinery was running well. That would probably be doable. Power plant's definitely not running well. Okay, looks like we have some construction office vehicles that might have picked up some workers. Maybe not. But they're trying. That means the construction task of this footpath is probably going to complete soon, so our population regrows. I kind of want to do an export right now. I should probably get a little bit more money by selling more of these old tanker cars. They sell for 40,000 each. Some money made. We have plenty of tanker cars for our needs, so that's fine. Let's increase the priority of this footpath. If only one of the people that is walking by could just take the shovel in hand and finish that. But that's not how this works. Looks like we finished these road constructions. Can hook up the exit on here. Do I want more parking lots over here? We have a footpath walking distance of 350 meters. So presumably we could fit 2 more parking lots in there and be fine. And we still haven't used this footpath here. That would give us some more distance. Get these footpaths built, and we'll start parking lots later. If we need more, we can also maybe add more up here. Have this as an exit, this road, and the entrance could be up here, driving as an entrance right here. Or the entrance could be up here. Or from this off-ramp. Or it could be this road looping around and we don't care about that exit. I have to drive here and back through here if they want to go that way. What is actually their travel distance? That is what they would... Oh, currently they can drive back out this way, which is not something that they should be allowed to do for traffic purposes. So now they would loop around and still be able to go this way with a decent enough travel distance still available to them. will tell these parking lots that anyone can take a car, not just university educated people. And that should be all of them for now. So, we dropped from 15,900 down to 13,600, which is a larger drop than we had before. Not great. Our loan repayments will decrease a little bit more in 3 months than again in slightly, well, close to 1.5 years. Yeah, we'll just have to keep taking out loans, I guess, and finance our expansion that way. As inflation keeps going, every loan that we currently have is also going to be worth less and less than before. Alright, helipads are gonna come online. I will set up the lake thing, but yes, I will I'll move a helicopter over. I'm not gonna buy one right now. We have one here. We still have helicopters over here, don't we? Yeah, we have so many over here. We'll move you down here. And then we have 3 left. We'll move 2 down here and leave 1 up there. Should have left the building information open, I guess. So 1 helicopter left here. We'll have 2 in this fire station. That will need fuel and electricity. So we'll also have to get a wind turbine set up so it can already provide coverage. We'll tell the faraway distribution office to bring fuel here as soon as we have electricity. That way we don't have to buy extra helicopters, and the helicopters that get here might actually have a little bit of fuel left. And now onto digging the lake. There will be a small pond right next to the fire station. A very artificial pond. But as long as it gives us the ability for the helicopters to pick up water and make sure that our steel storage doesn't burn down, I'm for it. I don't see the icon yet that this provides water for helicopters. I'm hoping that we see one of these blue dots over there. This might not be deep enough yet, so we'll have to keep digging. Or wide enough, one of the two. Now we have a blue dot in there, so presumably the helicopters would both be able to pick up water from here. Hopefully that'll keep us safe in this area. Passenger train just running around. No passengers available. Footpath didn't get built either yet. Well, I said I would play the tutorial regarding metro stations and etc. I haven't done that yet. I only took a short break between last episode and this one, and because I wanted to see if I had a problem with food distribution. And yes, I did, but I think we fixed it now. You know, we have to wait until we slowly regrow our lost population again. The early warning system with the check mark was not enough. It doesn't really work if you have a warehouse full of food and then you only tell them to not pick up any food from there, just store it. Maybe I should be a bit more liberal with placing trees. That will change the look of the town considerably, I think. Have the outskirts heavily forested, well, have the outskirts more forested, and then still have some trees on the inside. I think it might be more important to run our refinery. No, we need to get the productivity up. The refinery would be short-sighted, I think. More population and more loyalty. I want this to be slightly thinly spread, but I'll keep some forests around in the industrial area. Well, some trees. We'll see how that changes the view. The village I won't touch. That is just whatever it is. At least for now. Have it thin out over here a little bit. Okay. It'll probably be way too heavily forested in this area, but oh well. That should be more than 50% clothing now. Our rail distribution office does have the option to load clothing if it's above 50%. So far it hasn't moved in yet. It's probably taking into account both warehouses. So in total we have a storage of... There should still be more. So it's 117, both of these together. Maybe I should force one export to clear things up a little bit. Also, this is not helping that I probably also have it set to unload anything here, so it probably doesn't know what to do. We need chemicals, fabric, alcohol, food, electronics, and I think that's it. So no more clothing delivery. Also meat. If I let it run now, is there a train going to drive? Or should I try again? Let's decrease the storage amount. Also, I need to enable selling of clothing. That is probably a good idea. Unloading of bitumen and fuel is good, but clothing is a new export good. And there we go. Exporting is now happening. is trying to load 102 tons of clothing. Up to 102 tons. We don't really have that. So we won't have clothing for a while, but we should have enough to produce more. Our fuel export storage is on fire. It's a money maker, so please put that out. Thank you. I really need to get used to beautifying the town. I wish there was a tool where you could randomly populate a mixture of all of the trees, rather than you selecting one tree and it spreads them out all over. But I guess it will look fine once they all grow up. Alright, that train should make us a lot of money. Pretty good. Very good. Missing resources clothing, yeah, we did a clothing export, so we better get to it and produce some more. Shouldn't get a warning about clothes on this one. We'll turn that down to 0. No more clothes in here. Cargo train station for liquid. Wait. The helicopters did their thing. They put out a fire in Padonin. Good job. Now we just need to get the wind power plant up. And hopefully we can put out any other fire that is happening. We have one worker here who's currently walking to the other platform. He's not going to be able to leave, so a car is going to be able to pick him up at some point. But we need more than one worker. I will also assign this directly, so you can walk directly into the wind power plant if you get here. I must say, adding the trees completely changes the feeling of the town. I like the look much more now. I like the high density of trees. Should have maybe done that a little bit earlier. But yeah, 500,000 rubles, clothing export. Technically we exported a lot of clothing that we previously imported, so it probably lost us some money. But yeah, can't win it all, I guess. Clothing is slowly coming back, so we should be ready for when the shopping center in our commercial district runs out. Only takes 5 tons, and it's slowly depleting. We are making clothing faster than it is depleting by, I think. And we have some fabric stored up. Looks like we got a train delivery of food here. I have an idea. Let's see. We are currently loading food from here, which is correct. We're also loading from here. What if I told you to also unload food from here? But not load it from here anymore. So now trucks should basically go out, grab the food from this warehouse and load it into this warehouse or this warehouse. Just so we can get rid of all of the food in that warehouse and make more space for fabric and clothing. Which isn't going to become an issue quickly, but I'd like to be prepared. And also disable food storage in this one. I guess I will plop down a few trees. We'll see how that looks once it develops, grows up. Some more trees here and here. And here. Should be enough. Don't have any trees up here yet, but I'm still not sure about the mechanical parts factory, where to place that. I think it would be an easy factory to run. I could probably also run it by supplying it with trucks. It does have an internal storage of like 2 days, and it would take a lot of workers to run at full capacity. But I think a train connection is kind of necessary since we're using trains for most of the things. You have 2 tons of clothing, you're fine. I am getting concerned that no one is driving food here. Someone is now going to move food here, supposedly. Did a refuel, it looks like. Taking the long route. Oh, we have 3 tons of food left. Yeah, getting the food out of this warehouse and just using that one is going to be a better situation for us. Just use this warehouse for clothing and maybe the mechanical and electronic components when we need them. Please don't run out of food. Thank you. Let's check if we have our wind turbine set up. Not yet. The groundworks is complete, but we need more workers to finish the construction itself. I guess we can tell them to all walk. Whoever gets here can directly walk into the wind power plant construction site, and anyone else can go to the bus platform once that gets finished. Hopefully we get enough workers again soon so we can have some of them being delivered by train to our new town area. I guess I could, instead of having a tram network, I really kind of want to try building a town with just metro stations. How much capacity do metros have? Metro trains. I assume you can chain them quite easily. Metro. Wow. 525 passengers. 664 passengers. That's a lot. Okay. Price of oil is increasing. The global economy is impacted and it is possible that prices will not return normal anytime soon. That tells me that we might have to do an export soon. No import of oil right now. No export of fuel and bitumen. We'll monitor the price and see what happens to the price at the end of the day. So right now the price is still stable, but I think every 5 days it does an update. Now, it did do an update, but it wasn't a lot. But I think it's going to slowly trend upwards, and we might be able to make a little bit more money than usual from our stored resources, although we did recently export a bunch of bitumen, so... I do have to upgrade these roads to gravel. Looks disgusting. Well, actually it looks kind of cool, having some dirt roads through a forested area. But from the perspective of someone looking at it and seeing slow traffic, it looks a little bit annoying. September 25th, we're going to check the fuel price again. We're going to check and memorize that it currently sells for 223.5, and then in 2 days this is probably going to go up. Question is how slowly and by how much. It said that the oil price was the most affected, but any resource connected to that one should also be affected. So the oil price, you can see a much more pronounced curve in the last square box on the right. That is what I'm hoping for with fuel. And it should be showing up now. So oil, still going up. Fuel, no real curve there. Bitumen, also no real curve. We did have some considerable price spikes in the first half, but not right now. We'll check start of October. Okay, we have running water next to our heating plant now, as well as in the prison. Lots of water consumption here. Food is completely empty. Let's prevent any additional food from being dropped into this warehouse. And that should do it. Now the only thing we need to be able to be taken from this warehouse is clothing. And since we didn't enable that before, our shopping center might be close to empty, but we did realize it now. That we are going to pick up clothing from here rather than this warehouse. So we should be okay now. This warehouse does... We're not going to set what we can and can't do here, I guess. Except for we are not going to unload anything into here anymore. Just loading the resources that are present. I guess I will define what is here. Food, alcohol. Then we have the meat storage. Also electronics, can't forget those. And clothing from the new warehouse. So we have alcohol, food, electronics. And last but not least, don't forget the chemicals. Chemicals, because we are also using that distribution office to supply our water purification plant. And having that one run empty could also be very catastrophic. It's the start of October. Oil price for this year is shooting up. Fuel price is now at 225, so barely any increase, unfortunately. Don't think we're going to see that rise anytime soon, but we'll wait. We don't have to export anything urgently right now, so should be fine. Hello Nas Escobar, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. We do have a sufficiently full supply of oil right now to where we don't need to import anything because we are barely consuming any of the oil. Our workforce is just not that large currently. That's currently present in the oil refinery. And we are going to drain more workers into the clothing factory, which will have a direct footpath access. We still have not built the footpath here, which is a little bit annoying. But once we do that, we will probably double the amount of workers inside this factory. Productivity is looking good. I think our moderators are doing a splendid job of keeping everyone happy and loyal. We should be at, it looks like 75 to 80%, even with the reduced rate of workers inside the TV station. So that's nice. That means any additional worker that grows up can pick a car and drive to the oil refinery or work in the clothing factory, whatever they prefer. We give them options. Did we get our wind turbine set up? Probably not, since we haven't had any workers go onto the train line, I assume. No. I'm currently heading towards the platform to load it. And there's no one here, so no one can ride the train. I have an idea. I want fire safety. I will tell you to go to the train platform, and I will tell anyone from this house and this house to go to the train platform right now. Go back to the train platform, please. There's more workers. Alright. That should be able to finish the construction of the wind turbine. I hope they have enough time to get there, since I told the train to turn around once more, but I'm sure they'll make it. There shouldn't be any traffic jam right now. We'll get several people into the wind turbine, building that, which will allow one of our trucks carrying fuel to go there and put some fuel into the fire station. And then fire safety down there should be ensured, even without any people on site, because the helicopters do work without people inside them. We did restock the clothing inside the commercial district shopping center. And we should also be keeping the clothing restocked inside Roboduma itself. Although we barely have any demand here, so it's fine. The building is currently without power supply, because we just ran out of money trying to import something, I guess. Well, time to take out another loan. It's 3 days until repaying that one finishes, so why not take out another loan? We had a sufficient enough power production, I wouldn't have to take out a loan that quickly, but apparently we don't have enough people. Let's check the wind turbine. I'm interested. Train is currently heading back. And the wind turbine has a lot of workers on it, but no road crane. So it's not going to finish. I did buy a bunch of road cranes. They're currently not moving, because this is presumably going to wait for a road crane from a different location, so we will cancel that. So a road crane can start moving from here. And it might arrive in time to speed up the construction. Or we will have to send out more workers, the same way we did earlier. $140 days, with 3 hours left. Construction speed with a road crane is sufficiently fast. And we got electricity now. That means the fuel distribution office has sent out 2 trucks to bring fuel here. And that will keep the helicopters in shape to fight any fires that happen in this area. With the little lake that we dug out. Looks like we got some people waiting here actually. Building a road, that's fine. After that we can start with the shopping center. Let's unassign the excavators. Road construction. I have some construction offices that I haven't named yet because they don't have a purpose yet, but they are still assigning themselves to construction sites, so let's turn off the auto search and unassign them so I don't get confused. Okay. Dump trucks, yes. Road cranes, no. we have mechanisms locally. Concrete mixers we need, hull trucks we don't need because we also have those locally. And that's how it should be. I probably have to make a new assignment group of local construction equipment plus whatever else I need. So in this case, dump trucks and concrete mixers, which are here, and these ones. So now we have an assignment group for Padunin with all of the local material plus those that we don't have locally. And I guess we're also at the road construction office for whatever needs to be done road construction wise. I guess if I assign the road construction office, then it might use the open hull trucks to bring materials there, so I will not do that. The road construction office will only be used for road construction. That should be all the stuff needed. I should be able to drop that on any construction site and see a light green instead of a dark green. Get the road construction office. Sure. Here's the fuel truck. Allowing the helicopters to refuel a little bit. They take a lot of fuel. Let's also drop the road construction office right here. And here. That is the wrong one, but I guess we do have Padunin workers now, so might as well. So this area should get constructed slowly. Yeah, we'll bring the resources here, and at some point we'll probably have enough people showing up at the platform so they can be picked up and driven to construction sites as necessary. Man, this greenery is like, oh, I'm scrolling in towards the town and it looks like it looks like very three-dimensional and like super forested. Love it. I wonder what a drive along the road would look like. Have to check that out at some point. We are at 1,500 workers from previously 2,500, so we're still lacking. But hopefully getting there. I could consider a few more residential buildings. Since we're now supplying work to people locally, some of these parking lots could move. I'm worried a little bit about our fuel distribution, but it looks like it's still holding fine with a few workers in the oil refinery. Also, it's been a month and I forgot to check the price of oil this year. Okay, it has climbed and now peaked. So it looks like that is about to be the highest price we are going to get for oil. Fuel is at 230, didn't change at all, barely. So we're not going to make any more money with fuel or bitumen, it's just that the oil price has increased. So it was good that we stopped the importing, but we can resume the exports as per normal. That's fine. And looks like we are ready to export some fuel, which is also okay. If I wanted to produce electronics, I would need to research electronic circuits and semiconductors. I would need mechanical components and electronic components and plastics. Securing my own domestic supply of electronics would reduce import costs also a lot. Even if I don't produce the raw materials myself, I could still save a lot of money if I didn't have to import electronics. 7 electronics cost me 70,000 this year. Last year I imported 47 for 500,000, which is almost as much as we used for steel. I guess we are going to start some research. Going through chemistry, semiconductors, and so on. We don't need a lot of professors on it, but we'll just go through the motions. Okay, so I think we might have planted a few too many trees. I think the trains would probably prefer it if we didn't plant trees right between the train tracks right here. And maybe that close to the rail itself. It's maybe a little bit too much density. Keeps the train tracks open and safe. That might make more sense. Yeah, I think that's probably more reasonable. Having the train tracks covered by trees is probably not a safe thing. I need to cut off a little bit more here. There we go. Looks like electricity production is picking back up. As long as we have productive workers in here that can use the kindergarten to take care of their children and get their needs fulfilled by driving into town, everything should be good. So, about the extra residential building. Do I want to implement a system where I have people coming into town by train? For that to work, the system of having the end station right here does not quite work. Because this is for going to the end station before you pick up workers from here and then drive out of town. So I would need another end station, or I would need electric trains if I wanted to do that. But that could mean I could have a residential area elsewhere. Potentially even with a subway station. Or I just set up a whole subway station for the area. Try the subway station here, which can reach all of the commercial district, and then plop down another subway station elsewhere. And have people be carried around by metro trains. Maybe I can have a lot of people in this area then. And if the metro station is in walking distance of the train station, which it looks like it might be, especially if we use the tunnel again, then that could be a way to feed more people onto the train system. Did we get the footpath down yet? No. has not been built yet. We're going to use the same method as with getting workers to build the wind turbine and forcing everyone from this residential building to go to the bus platform. And that should trigger this construction office to pick up some of them and hopefully finish some of the constructions that are currently waiting for workers. It will cause a lot of people to complain about unemployment, because the cars trying to pick them up are not going to get here in a while because, well, snowing has just started, and that will slow traffic down. But yeah, I think we should increase the priority that this footpath is going to be constructed. And we have some vehicles arriving now. Well, they're all driving here. I only need 4 workers for a day. Maybe 5 or 6. They do have to take the long way around, but they'll get there. Let's unassign bus platform as a mandatory working place again, because the other construction tasks I don't see as urgent. Water would be nice, but the trucks are currently bored anyway, so they can also drive it directly to the factory. It will become more important once we have more workers inside the factory, drawing more water more quickly. But with the new footpath going across here, we might now finally have the range to reach this building. And we still don't. I am confused. Measuring this by hand tells me that... Wait, what's the bridge walking speed? 75%. Okay, so a bridge reduces walking speed by quite a lot, which is probably the reason that we don't have the people reach the full 400 meters. So if we made them walk along the flat ground here, they would easily reach, I think. However, making them cross this intersection would also be a bit silly. So I think what we are going to do is make an overpass for pedestrians. And then hook that up. And we can also hook up some of the parking lots just for aesthetic. But this should give them the walking distance to reach the factory, since apparently walking over a bridge is not sufficient. I'm not sure why the walking speed is reduced walking over a bridge, but I guess it is what it is. There are trees directly on the road again. export is gonna happen soon as well. How's our clothing storage looking? That's gonna take a while to fill up to a level where we can do another export, but it's getting there. I mean, if we get to like 60, we can make another 500,000 rubles just from that. It's a slow process, and the more workers we get in here, the better. Maybe it is actually worth it to tear down one of the parking lots and build another residential building. You can get to the factory. So if we remove the parking lots, replace them with a residential building, we would have more workers. And they could also access all of the commercial district. One more vehicle. Somewhere, maybe? There we go. All gone. I gotta be really careful with the bulldozing tool for roads. If I was here, I could have accidentally deleted the whole tunnel. I don't like the cancel road tool. It's dangerous. I mean, the cancel footpath tool is the same. Could also cancel an underground tunnel. We'll have to wait a bit for vehicles to realize that this parking lot is not here anymore. And I think we're going to sell all of these Trabants. They are kind of obsolete. So I think we're going to put another one of these residential buildings in this area, which will remove the footpath here. Maybe we can put two of the square ones in here instead. Still not able to remove that. Oh, there we go. One of the Trabants just went through it. Maybe we can put two of these in instead. It looks like yes, that is possible. I shouldn't have removed that footpath. I thought that was from the same building. Oh well. So either we get two of these, which can hold 250 each, rounded down, or one of these 337. Or we get one of these and then a small one down here. I am all for increasing the amount of people we have inside buildings now, so let's do that, which gives us the most. It's complaining about something over here, which appears to be the heating pipe. And the water switch is also in the way. It is so close to fitting in here, but not quite. We remove that footpath. It might work. Well, 2 more residential buildings. Why not? We reduce the amount of vehicles and increase the amount of population in the area. They should all have access to local employment. It will decrease the amount of people going to the oil refinery, I think. But it seems like clothing factory would also be sufficient. As long as we're not oversupplying clothing to the export market, we should be fine. And we are delivering clothing by train, so it's not like we're continuously moving clothing to the customs house. We're doing one occasional export, maybe every a year and a half. Oil price has come down again, so if we need to, we can resume importing of oil, but we're still not using any of the oil we already have, so we can turn it on, but nothing should happen. But as soon as we have more workers again inside the oil refinery, we are going to be prepared. Let's reduce the amount of workers on these construction sites to 5 each, so we don't overfill it once the footpaths are done. But we still have enough workers to continuously help construction. Both of these residential buildings should get citizens, not by money, but by relocation. I hope I had that set up when I built some of the other buildings. I think I always changed it. Maybe I used a bunch of money to fill one of the residential buildings. Could have happened. Okay. I'm not... It's not that urgent that we finish these constructions, I don't think. Some unemployment, sport, food. Should be okay. Sport should be a non-issue with the indoor swimming pool that we have here, but maybe it gets overcrowded every now and then. Like during winter time, I could see that being a thing. But usually when I check it, no one's waiting in front of it, so it seems like it's not sufficiently enough overcrowded. We also have to reduce the amount of workers going to these construction sites because they are a little bit too eager to finish building that. Gotta check on Padunin for a bit. Construction has started on a bunch of things. Groundworks mostly. For the building construction itself, we still need workers to arrive here by train. That road construction will also need some workers, unfortunately just too short. But yeah, the construction offices over here are doing their thing, providing all of the construction materials to sites, and then just waiting until they get done and moving on. So, nothing for us to do right now. The gravel processing plant will have to wait until we actually have workers on site. But I think it's planned out the way it should work. Without the stone quarries, they are not planned out because they will be just easily placed down and it should be fine. Yep, still no workers on the train, so it has been delayed a little bit. We are now receiving material for construction of these flats. I think the capacity of our heat exchanger is going to be sufficient to deal with both of them. They are going to be instantly filled with people. If it is not sufficient, we are going to have a slight problem. Small one. Thankfully winter will be over by then, so if we do have a problem, it might still be manageable. But we are in January and it's minus 15 or less degrees sometimes. I worry a little bit that we don't have enough workers inside the asphalt and concrete plant, but maybe I'm worrying for no reason. Looks like they are sufficiently staffed. Winter is maybe not the ideal time to check, but winter is also the most likely time where there could be shortages. But the workers don't get to the production facility in time. We're all okay. I guess our concrete trucks are all heading towards Padonin because the shopping center takes a huge amount of concrete. And indeed they are. $300 tons of concrete. We'll lower the priority a little bit. Now that we have restarted construction jobs locally inside Roveduma, or Roveduma Commercial, they are kind of taking priority right now. Because we can't do anything with the concrete we are currently bringing to Padonin, because we don't have any workers there. Waiting for concrete. I wish you could bring cement and gravel to a construction site and they would mix concrete locally. only for like smaller construction sites, like road construction or small buildings. Like a giant shopping center mixing several hundred tons of concrete locally is probably not the way to go. Shop is out of goods. Meat. Meat truck has arrived. Okay, thank you for informing me, so at least we know the checkbox works. That was a little bit scary, I gotta say, but it was not nothing, but it was good information. Everything in here seems to be set up correctly. Still need more workers. Just waiting on the concrete mixers. Interesting design. Well, we have to wait until concrete trucks become available again. They might still be stuck on their way back. They're traveling along snowy roads with no road clearing, so it might take a while. Yeah, delivering concrete here during winter, not a good idea. Unless we weren't doing anything else, but since we're currently desiring 2 more residential buildings, it's probably a good idea to slow down construction in this area a little bit. I don't know if I still need cultural buildings. If I can provide culture via a TV station, do I still need a cinema? Some people might not have a TV station, I guess. Let's increase the priority of these, just so if a truck comes back and is wondering what to do, they might pick that instead of going back to Padonin. Because there were plenty of other construction jobs in Padonin that are still medium priority, which are the same as these residential buildings, but now those are high priority, so if the system works, I'll get resources earlier. Once the trucks get back. Excavator is currently traveling to the site, meaning that you actually got the concrete already. So it seems to be working. We'll get this footpath hooked up, and we'll get these residential buildings hooked up. And they are in walking distance. Over the bridge also. Looks like we're limited to maybe 360 meters over the bridge. 3 concrete mixers are currently scheduled to go to this construction site. And that will be enough concrete to finish the construction of that building. We only need prefab panels and steel after that. Steel is going to be slightly expensive, prefab panels are not. Since I have a concrete plant, cement plant, I guess I could make prefab panels locally as well. Cement and gravel. So that would pretty much work. It's a prefab panel factory, but I don't like how it looks. It's just squeezing in buildings in areas where there's a little bit of room, and then it doesn't really hook up properly to all of the connections. A proper construction industry would deal with that. Well, we don't have that. February. Temperature is climbing. We have concrete available now. Not the full amount, but almost enough to finish it. One more mixer should be on its way. And an excavator. Why did we import so many resources? Electronics, 240,000. Yep, it's expensive. Let's start semiconductors as a research. Not with that many though. And then we can trigger the electronics research after. We could run into electricity issues if we run out of money, since the amount of workers we have inside the power plant is not always stable. Where's the concrete? It's on its way. There it is. Okay, that will deal with the groundworks, and then we'll see once we have money to buy some steel and prefab panels, I guess. Not quite enough to export fuel or bitumen right now. We're a third to the way to do another clothing export. Looks like we might finish this bridge soon. Maybe clothing is going to be the future for us. I don't think so. Like, we can't really overproduce it for export. It's just going to be really nice to not have to import it anymore and rely on fabric. And fabric we might be able to make ourselves anyway at some point. And then when we make fabric, at some point we also want chemicals, and it just goes back further and further. Kinda don't want to take out another loan, but looks like it is the thing we are doing. Our interest rate is slowly going down. I think inflation is just that much that a million rubles just isn't that big of a deal anymore. And also I don't want to have electricity issues. I saw the town flicker in the background, so let's not have that happen. Probably for the best. Interest rate of 10% is pretty bad. But you take what you can get, I guess. Now we do have a tunnel here. Footpath access to the parking lots next to our construction offices. I don't think it would work, but I was thinking about having the mechanical parts factory in this area. And I think it's too large. We have a dirt road in the way. And we would also have trouble getting the workers around the building. Maybe I should just have a simple single lane overpass here to draw workers into a production facility. It could also be in this area, above the police station. I'll try with clothing for now. Mechanical parts would be a thing that we need for electronics. So it would probably be a more involved setup that has all of the things together. Once we have all of them researched. Let's increase research speed by a little bit. By allowing more professors to do so. Another fire right away, because why not? Fire truck was called. An airborne fire truck. Truck with steel is heading on towards the overpass construction. All of the other areas already have the materials, so just waiting on the last truck to get here, and then hopefully they can build all of the things. One after the other. Maybe they need both staircases first before they can build the middle part. I don't think so though. They do have pillars on both sides, so not sure how the game handles that. There's the steel. Just sent a flurry of workers. A bunch of road cranes are moving right now towards the residential building construction up here. Will be interesting to see if they can construct that after this footpath access has been built, or if they do need to be brought here by car. I think it might have to be by car, because on these ones that are directly accessible it says maximum number of workers outside of construction office, but it does not say that for here. So the overpass itself will probably have to wait for workers to get delivered here by a vehicle. We should prioritize that, because once we have the overpass constructed, they can directly walk into the other construction site. So we'll bring some workers directly to the bus platform to be picked up by construction office vehicles. Maybe I should have a construction office right here, so they can just drive across the bridge, pick up people whenever they walk to the bus platform. This one was mostly meant to auto-assign itself for road construction upgrade projects throughout the town, because it was a lot of little segments and it took a lot of time. But for general purpose construction, it might make sense to have a construction office that is way closer. I'm sending most of the vehicles here, so I guess we'll find out. A road crane is already present, so we only need like a car full of people and then another delivery of steel. We're just gonna take the longest. Case in point. Now we wait for a truck to bring steel. I did upload the whole series to YouTube, however I'm uploading like one episode per every 2 to 3 days, so with 34 episodes right now. I think I'm on episode 8 or 9 on YouTube, I don't remember. But yes, I'm slowly uploading it to YouTube, Escobar. So if you want to watch the whole thing, it will be uploaded there. My YouTube should be linked in my Twitch profile. It does have a playlist. And the next video I'm uploading, I think, every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. They're all uploaded and scheduled. I'm cutting out the beginning bit where it shows like that the stream is going to start. So yeah, it should all be there. Someone asked for it and I think it's working quite well so far. We did spend a lot of time setting up the initial road construction, but once we got to the commercial district and figured out that personal vehicles cause a lot of traffic issues, then yes, things got quite interesting. I'm very happy with how the road network turned out. It looks maybe a little bit chaotic, but I feel like I learned a lot of, and I made some, what I feel like is some nice and efficient parking lots. I would not have built parking lots like that before. Like, we have one road bringing in people, we have one road exiting people, and the neat thing is that they all move along the road the same way. So there can never be any traffic issue on this road or this road. And then they split up here, so no traffic issues either. Only when they enter the roundabout again might there be traffic issues. But there should be a reduced amount of traffic here, because I take the vehicles off from here and then re-enter them down here. I don't put them onto the roundabout right here, because then I would have increased traffic in this area. You've only been around a month or so and you have so much to learn. Yes, this game will keep you occupied for quite a while. It's very rewarding if you like learning things. There's always new stuff to find out. Like, I haven't even used metro stations yet, and I haven't built an airport yet. I haven't had the need for that, but I want to. So in this game I forced myself to use cars way more than I wanted to. And it's been slightly stressful, but also very educational. Before that I made a stream where I did a few videos on how to make money only by exporting vehicles, and that was also quite interesting. It's pretty easy and convenient to do that. Alright. We almost have this thing built. The steel is now present, we just need some workers. Like, if you just use buses and all of the public transportation that is available, I would have probably never used personal vehicles in a way that I have now. And I think in the future I might continue using personal vehicles for things like these buildings that use very few workers, because you just slap a parking lot next to them and it should be fine. As long as you give people vehicles, then they can just drive there. And you don't have to worry about a bus line to the area. A bus line would be more consistent, but personal vehicles are also kind of convenient, because you just drop down a new parking lot, and any parking lot that you already have is connected to all of the parking lots that are in range. So it's kind of interesting like that. Yes. Yes, that works. Okay, so this construction site should now be accessible for people to directly walk into it, and it is. So this will finish quite quickly. And then people should be able to walk into our clothing factory via this bridge. So this residential building, and maybe even this one, will have access. And also I should probably unassign this to allow citizens to walk wherever they want to. Otherwise they might get cranky if they don't find employment. This is also on realism mode, where you can't quick build buildings and you can't quick import resources. I find that a lot more rewarding than other methods. Yeah, now that we have the pedestrian overpass, we can reach all 3 residential buildings here. That should increase the workforce in this clothing factory by quite a lot. So we might export clothing more frequently, which also means that we have to import fabric more frequently, but in general it should be a good amount of profit for us. This residential building has all of the resources and all of the road cranes it needs, so let's fill it up with workers now. Finish that. We are going to get citizens from all around town and all of the villages to populate this building. And then after that we might be able to finish that one as well. This building is going to complain a lot about loyalty, happiness, because we're going to pull a lot of people from surrounding villages that we have on our map that are all very religious. But it's fine. So, religion sympathy of 66%. Forcefully moved into a building that has no access to any religious services. Happiness is 42%. But they can work in the clothing factory, so that will be fine. Pollution by the clothing factory might become a problem, though. So, pollution itself could be an issue as time goes on. We'll see. The parking lots and the road itself seem to be creating their own pollution now, which is interesting. Unemployment is dropping, so they are finding places to work, as they should. We are 1,845 workers, back up to that number. I want to be back to 2,500, or I guess with the additional 2 residential buildings at least 3,000. How much did our village drop? 330. I think we had like 500 here? Might not remember that correctly. But yeah, we also have some forest around Rovedima now, and it looks different. I think it looks better. The forested area looks a little bit more European, I guess. Yep, that's a quite large amount of workforce here. Not complaining, just noticing. Once we reach 60 clothing, we'll do another export and make another 500,000 rubles. Maybe even more than that. Do we have running water yet? Not yet. The pipe has been laid. We do have running water. It's just that the facility to distribute it locally has not been constructed yet. Because it seems to be out of range of the construction office for workers. Or it has not assigned itself yet because reasons. But now we should get some workers eventually. Once we have the occasional worker waiting on the bus platform, our vehicles will be triggered in picking some of them up. I'm happy that the village is reasonably populated. It looks like it's doing fine. Some of the buildings are empty, but can't make everyone happy, I guess. Traffic towards the village is a little bit much. Also, the ambulance should probably overtake them on the left lane, rather than just pushing them along, but you do what you think is best, I guess. Let's check back on Pardonin. passenger train heading back. We did build the helipad because it can be built without any workers, just by machinery. But otherwise we're still waiting on workers to arrive here. The helicopters in the fire station are really good to have. Yeah, I guess we're just waiting on workers to become available so we can continue construction over here. Put in electricity, hook that up. I guess I can set up the medium voltage wires. Or one of them. I only need... I guess I need two. We'll drop below the ground a bit, just in case we want to do any terraforming that might interfere with this. We'll get the wires in place as soon as we have... Well, I guess they can do the construction as soon as we have dump trucks in the area. And since it's not winter right now, we can call them. Get all of that constructed. Should also hook up the substation over here. Maybe with a gravel road. There's some concrete, there's some fuel. Yeah, our residential buildings are doing fine again. We're still lacking 40 tons of prefab panels. After that we can increase the amount of workers in here as well. Another pump check is on fire, sure. I guess all the prefab panels are arriving right now, so let's crank that up. That's going to be another 250 workers for the area. Some of them will probably leave again because of unhappiness due to religious sympathy, but most of them will stay. We're also drawing workers away from other residential buildings inside our town, so on the left side we have 194. As soon as this finishes, it should take some of them out of this one as well. Not just the buildings inside villages. So it took 7 people out of the left building, down to 187. So not that much. Most of them still come from from villages, because I guess it's checking all of the buildings and taking an equal amount of every building. And since there's a lot of small buildings and only a few large buildings, that's where most of our workers come from. The pollution from the clothing factory with the pollution from the road and the parking lots might combine to a decent amount of pollution in the area. Seems to be still okay. Some pollution is okay. I think we might be fine with money now. I think this is going to increase. I guess I'm not considering the amount that we have to pay for importing more fabric, but exporting the clothing that we have, if I check, for example, our current resources in the vicinity and sort it by value, we have 100 tons of clothing in total, but half of that would be about 370,000 rubles. So yeah, if we fill that up to 60,000, we would be able to have another 500,000 ruble in our bank, which is going to be consumed again for importing fabric, but money-wise I think we're looking better than at the start of this episode. Thanks to getting this pedestrian crossing, thanks to getting the 2 new residential buildings, and thanks to our clothing factory, which is working quite well. But I have to go for now, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. The 2 episodes in quite quick succession. Really enjoyed the game. There will be more tomorrow, pretty sure of it. I also have a race tomorrow, so let's see what happens. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Escobar, for watching the stream. You're welcome. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the now very green town. We did that this and last episode. Before that it didn't look that green at all. So I guess that's what's going to be the picture for that episode once it hits YouTube. Have a good rest of your Saturday, Sunday. Take care. And as always, maybe I'll see you next time.